Woo! Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. How y'all feeling today? A lot of y'all jackasses coming out here on the road, speeding and shit, causing accidents because one, you probably ran late or got up late anyway. Two, making no sense. But how y'all doing this fine Tuesday morning? Oh Lord, let's get it in. Shout out to my boy Rodney who had a fire video. Uh, I gotta post that joint in the chat. I'm gonna tell you one thing. To be an educated black woman nowadays, for the most part, should be legally and clinically issues as a mental illness, the way this lady was acting. I swear to everything that I am. There is no justification for shit like this. I swear, shout out to Rodney for this fire content that he put out, man. If you're not subscribed to his channel, here's the link to that video. There's some things I'm going to discuss in this fine morning. I'm going to start with last night. Shout out to the controversial counselor. Please subscribe to him. We have very interesting conversations every morning. And for those who are wondering who was playing in the beginning, that was Adriana Evans. Seeing is Believing. Classic neo soul and jazz combination. You got to remember those 90s, man. Those mid 90s, 96, 97. That was a beautiful song, beautiful singer. Man, I loved her style. Matter of fact, I bought that album. Yep, 97, the album came out. I'm going to go back to the conversation we had on the controversial council last night. Really good stuff. And it's funny because, like a lot of people, like, the controversial counselor, Dr. Tia Son Johnson, and a few others, they link their accounts with their Facebooks for the viewership. And it's funny, a lot of us do not understand how many feminists we have in our friend section until you put something up there that the little feminists don't like. So we were having a conversation. Shout out to Mr. Z. He even came up. Shout out to Herb and Dave and Kev, I forget the lady's name. It's kind of funny, and I've said this before, how much women do not understand men because they were never made to. And I think we do ourselves a disservice as men not pressing the issue because a lot of us have been raised to be, I'm going to say it, pussy hounds. You had to acquiesce to that woman's wants, needs, and desires, and she didn't even have to do a damn thing for you and just show up. And I'll give the lady credit. She was apprehensive at first, but then she paid attention, especially after I was dropping jewels like a damn pirate with some booty. And I was just making too much logical sense. You had a lot of people in the chat who didn't really care for me, but then again, I don't give a damn. People are mad when you tell the truth. When I said that women make poor leaders, they usually do. Once in a while, you get one that will surprise you, but guess what? I'd rather put my money on the sure bet. I've seen it in the military. I've seen it in the police department. Out of all the great leaders that we had, let me see, you might have had, especially if they come from officer to sergeant, very few of them are good. You have a couple there who are good, but very few of them. And see, promotions to supervisor is like steroids. Steroids doesn't give you roid rage. It just makes you whatever you truly are inside come out more. It's more pronounced. If you were always an asshole, guess what you're going to be? An even bigger asshole. So a lot of these chicks, for some odd godforsaken reason, they want to go up there and say, hey, what do you mean? We're born leaders. No, you're not. If you were born leaders, that means you're born accountable. That's what the whole status of it is. If you were born leaders, you will be born accountable. That's number one. If you were born leaders, the black community wouldn't look like the shit show it's been for the last 50, 60 years. If you were born leaders, your sons would be kick ass. I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to let people, stew over that real quick. I'm going to let people stew over that real quick. If all that you claim was true, you would have evidence to back it up. Let's just get that out there. If all you claim is true, you would have had the evidence to back it up. But you don't. And see, the problem is this. We get mad at the delivery without digesting the message. Oh, you could have said it in a better way. No, 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 no. Why do I need to say anything in a better way? Do y'all say shit in a better way when you say, I don't need a man? But yet, these are the same women who said, I'm going to be submissive if a man can pay my bills. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Either you need me or you don't. I remember a chick told me, well, if a man can't pay my bills and step up, then they need to leave us alone. I said, well, then again, I said, this is the only options men will give you. Either I lead or I'll leave. You're not going to allow me to lead because I'm a leader. I'm not going to wait and debate with you. Why would I deal with somebody who's insufferable? Why? Why would I deal with somebody insufferable? That's the funniest part about it. What makes you such a treasure to be around? I like to ask any woman this shit. I'll ask a guy because you got some spoiled ass dudes out here. What makes you worthy of anybody's provisions? What have you done? I'm confused. Like, when do we start doing this shit that we need to give people something just because they exist? Especially some fucking adults. When do we do that? I'll wait. Fundamentally, we had a woman who actually was in the chat and it was posted who said, well, I'm an independent woman who takes care of her own finances, and I think men are intimidated. I said, no man is intimidated by you. But when you tell us that you're an independent woman, that makes us stay away. Because independence means I don't need anybody. I don't need to be under anybody's authority. And like I said before, the first rule of protection is obedience. If you're not obedient, I don't need you. Okay? I don't need you. I don't want you. I'm not going to go back and forth over a power struggle. I'm not going to do it. You're not worth it. Those are delusions of grandeur. See, a lot of times we put ourselves in very unnecessary predicaments. Very unnecessary. There are some battles that just need not to be fought. Why lead? Why bother yourself being with somebody who's obnoxious? Why bother yourself that way? Why torture yourself? A lot of brothers and sisters can't answer this, man. We spend too much time trying to please a bunch of people who ain't shit. Instead of actually saying, you know what, I'm going to gracefully bow out. I'm going to gracefully bow out. I don't need this. What's wrong with that? Hmm. Very interesting. And you had this one lady who kept saying, well, I think it's not that I don't want any male companionship. No, it's the fact that men don't want to deal with you because you're more trouble than what is God given worth. More trouble. Nobody wants to battle for position. Nobody wants to battle for control, authority. Either you give it willingly or be by yourself. And a lot of you women claim that you like being by yourself, but what you really don't want to talk about is the fact that you're insufferable. You're not a joy to be around. And this is what disturbs me. You got a bunch of women who don't understand men, but think that men should automatically just bow down and say, hey, I want to be with somebody who's insufferable. I should put all my resources in someone who doesn't respect me. That's what is expected of you. Not one time somebody take the consideration of saying, hey, what do you want? What are you about? Nobody says that. But yet, we're supposed to give our protection, provision, problem solving, and procreation freely without asking for anything in return. I'll be the first to tell you, the hell with that. The hell with that. Something must be given and something must be earned. At some point, things are gonna have to be things are gonna have to be coming around big time. I'm gonna say this to the men: respect yourself. Be respectful, but respect yourself. Ladies, be respectful. Because a man ultimately wants to be respected more than he wants to be loved. I'm just going to put it out there. He wants to be respected more than he's ever loved. As soon as you cross that line of disrespect, you're going to look toxic to that man forever and a day. If you really want to date a man, for all the ladies listening, for the live stream or playback, here's game. Actually get to know that guy. Know what his favorite sports team is. Know his favorite drink, his favorite food, his hobbies. Mold yourself into what would help him, because ultimately it's going to help yourself. We used to do that shit. We used to do that shit, right? Be cordial, get to know people. Whatever happened to that? Actually sitting down, having a conversation. Whatever happened to that? But y'all don't hear me though. Well, I've said that for years. Most chicks don't have hobbies. Most chicks are actually rather boring. Most chicks are rather boring. So that's why when chicks get with a man, they really mold themselves after him. And see, we give women purpose. That's why they look so lost in the sauce after a while, being single for so long. But a chick don't have to be with a guy and she don't have to do that. You're right, she doesn't have to. She does not have to. You're absolutely right. She never has to. Now, the conversation was great, informative, but it also lets you know a lot of chicks do not understand men. I'm just wondering what happened in these households with these women. Y'all never teach your daughters how to get a land a husband? You never teach your husbands, excuse me, your daughters how to be wives? Of course not. Of course not. It's actually pretty disturbing if you really go and look towards it. You make a bunch of entitled motherfuckers. A bunch of people who think they're better than anyone else. But yeah, you get mad when men hold you to a standard and have a standard themselves. And I can tell when they get upset about it is when they say stuff like, "You can't handle a strong black woman." Well, I don't have a lasso and a cattle prod, so I don't need to. I don't need to deal with that. But speaking of entitled and spoiled, let's look at Marquise Jackson getting nearly $7,000 a month to live off of, constantly blaming his father about not having enough money, but never blaming his mother for fucking up the money in the first place. I think that's odd, don't you? I think that's odd, don't you? I think it's one of those disturbing things of seeing a male not trying to make it, not trying to learn from his father, but using his father the same way that a woman would see him. It's just an ATM. When you listen to him speak, I don't hear any masculinity in him. I don't hear any logic within him. You see people like that, avoid them. They're a threat and a danger to everybody around them. The saddest part is his life ain't gonna get any better. You trying to like abuse your father? You're talking about, well, I'll give him 6,700 to spend some time with me. You don't want to spend time with your father. When he wanted to talk to you, when you were at that jewelry store, you ran like a coward. You ran. I mean, you want to speak to your dad, but you're a coward. I mean, too many times we get in these positions and predicaments about children who've been already infected with poison by their mothers, especially blaming the world on why they don't have a relationship with their father, instead of taking the time to see that person for who they are, not the image that someone else paints. Is that fair? No, no. How you gonna hold me accountable as a father, but you don't say anything to your mom who was given money for decades? Where's the house? Where's the business? I think this week I'm gonna ask this question. Should a man cut off his kids? And if so, when should he do it? If that child reaches a point of return, if that child reaches a point of no return, you might have to cut him off. If that child starts risking your livelihood, your safety, if that child starts risking your freedom, you got to cut that kid off. I know, I know it hurts a lot of us. Yeah, you got some deadbeat ass niggas out there. And I know that would hurt me. But as soon as you start becoming a liability, I got to leave you alone. I got to leave you to your own devices. If I try constantly, and I do mean constantly, to be in your life, to maintain, raise you, to set you up for success, and you spit in my face, kick me in my balls, I got to cut you off. I know there's going to be some men and women who are going to be out there. No, you should never give up on a child. There's a lot of men who died early deaths trying to fight for a child that didn't want to be there because the other parent poisoned that child. Okay? That child is supposed to be a blessing to the world. If that child is going to say and do irreprehensible things against the family, especially the father, you got to be cut off. See, this is the problem with this new feminized world. We got to feel sorry for everybody and their bullshit. Back in the day, when men really were a patriarchy, you disrespect the family, the least of your problems was to be, you know, discommunicated, cut off. You were made incognito. You were made poison. Nobody was to speak or touch you, nor help you. You're going to really pose with the son of the man who tried to kill your father. That's mental, dude. That's some mental shit. You want to take pictures with the man's son who tried to kill your father. Yeah, it may not be the exact man, but I would never go there. And see, I listen to a lot of these live streams, and no one ever questions the bitch. No one ever mentions that bitch. Yeah, Aquateki, that's disrespectful. But see, that's the level of disrespect only a female minded Negro would do. No honor, no integrity, has an attitude, entitled. God, he's nothing but a bitch. If he turns out to be gay, I wouldn't be surprised. 25 years old acting like a little bitch. Hey, what's up, Toya? There's certain stuff you just don't do. You just don't do. Think about this shit. I'm giving you nearly $7,000 to live, which is enough money where you don't have to work and still live comfortably. But you saying fuck all that, I ain't do enough. At one point, 50 was giving his mother 25,000 a month. I want you to think about that. Hold on, folks. Cold as a motherfucker out here. So good. Oh, say it again. You were muted. Say hello. Hello. That's my father, everybody. I'm dropping him off on his job. I want to ask you this question, right? What would you do if you had a son who was 25 and you give him nearly $7,000 to live off of, and he says that's not enough to live in New York? Tell him his ass to move. Really, and there's a guy, 50 Cent. Here's the funniest part about it, right? They were asking for more money. He was already paying 25,000 a month for child support, right? I mean, if you pay 25,000 a month, why isn't that kid in like an Ivy League school? But guess what? You know what she was doing with the money. So you know what 50 Cent did? He took him down to child. He took himself to child support, and the judge ordered him to pay 2,700. They went because agreed. She went from 25,000 to 6,700, and made out even better. Made out even better. And the ridiculous part about it is his son, who we tried to put into a business, fucked up the merchandise and the money. And he said he wants nothing to do with his son, which is fair, right? Because the son kept talking crap about him, disrespecting him. How long do you think a person should wait before they just like, you know what? I'm gonna let them live their life. Or do you think somebody should never give up on them? I'm looking at it like this: if you poison, if the mother poisoned a child that badly, there's barely anything you could do. There's barely anything you could do. It's not like I didn't set you up for to be successful. You chose to be a fuck up. Definitely got to get these visors fixed.
That tape might really need to all.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's bright out here. I'm just thinking about it. Like, when did a lot of kids be so damn spoiled? Can't get them to work. Can't get them to do shit. What did one guy say to his kids? He said, "My money is my money. You got to go earn your own. I'll help you, but you got to still earn your own." I really truly think it's hilarious. What did they have? This one guy said. He said you got some kids out here who hate their fathers only because they hear one side of the story. That's shameful. Mm-mm-mm. But don't worry, I'll be back in about 30 minutes. Talk to you later.